Yeah. Hi guys. Hello. Yeah. Welcome to the SEO class. My name is Tobi Akinrinmade. You probably met me in during the introduction phase, or during the introduction webinar where we invited, lots of guests. Omobolale was there. Um, we had Raima Tatata and we had Ola Demeji as well. I'm sure, like, from that webinar, you must have been inspired. You learned a lot um, about tech and as to the reason why you should get in tech in 2024. So I just want to say welcome to class, and thank you for choosing this path. Myself and the rest of the instructors, we will try our best as much as possible to make sure that we deliver what we promise to you. And yeah, that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to deliver what we promise. And yeah, so welcome to class. This is the first class of SEO, digital marketing, but with focus on SEO because trust me, digital marketing is broad, and there's only a little you can learn within the space of 8 weeks. And from the webinar that we had on Saturday, by now you already know, there are different routes to tech, of course, and then you will notice, like, most people tend to be like the jack of all trade, which is good for a start. But as time goes by, you start to narrow things down. However, if you have a mentor, if you have someone to instruct you right from onset, you're able to focus on one thing and then build your expertise on that particular thing over time. And so take it from me as an instructor, I'll say, if SEO is the path that you want to choose for now, focus on it for now, build your skills on it, and the sky is the limit. So welcome to class, and let's dive straight into it. Yep. All right. So let's dive straight into it, and then if I just show share my slide with you, and then we can look at uh, you know what we have for today. So basically, for today, to just give you a rundown of what we have, why our slide is loading. Today we are going to look at the basics of SEO, what really makes SEO, the common terms used across the industry, and then yeah, we're going to look at the common terms used across the industry. Um, just so when you start working in team and when people say things, you understand what they're saying. Some of you may be familiar with these words already, but there are many people who are watching right now who does not really understand this term, and it is important to to start from scratch to go into these basics. So today, anyway, by the end of this video, you're going to learn the full meaning of SEO if you don't know that already. You're going to learn how search engine really works. You're going to learn a thing or two about search engine algorithms. You're going to learn the process of crawling and indexing, and then you are also going to learn what SAP features are and why they are important and how they work. Different types of SAP features that makes up search engines, and then we're going to touch on search engine intent. What is search engine intent, or what is search intent, and how does that work? Um, and yeah, so by the end of this video, you have full understanding of what a search engine is and how it works and how people actually search online. So yeah, thank you for joining us. And let me just bring up my I can't speak. Sorry. Let me just bring up my slide now, and then we dive into it. So basically, what is search engine optimization? Search engine optimization, it is a process of optimizing websites. This can involve technical configuration, of optimizing the website. Technical configuration in the sense like you have to like optimize the code. Sometimes it may involve optimizing the content. Some other time it may just involve changing the links or redirecting links. And so basically, it is a whole process of optimizing the pages of websites or and yeah, and then these pages can become easily accessible by the users. The whole purpose of optimizing this page is that it ranks higher. It can be easily accessible by the users of search engines. Um, so that's every one of us. We are the users. Every other day we use Google. Some people use Bing. We use several search engines when we we want to get new knowledge, or we have something that we don't really know and we want to know. So yeah, so we are the users, and the process of actually optimizing the content of website pages so that we the users can see it on time or on top of search engine. That is the whole concept of SEO, and that is what SEO is all about. So why SEO? Why is SEO important? If I just show you something real quick, if I show you, let's do something more practical. Let's go on Google. So this is Google, and then let's put in a query in the let's say maybe Nigerian flag. It is easier to show you why SEO than to tell you. Um, oh well, people are not really advertising for Nigerian flag. Let's say, okay, let's do this. And this is where search intents come into play as well. You get to understand what just happened there. So earlier on, when I searched for Nigerian flag, um, okay, well, the search is different this time. But earlier on, when I searched for Nigerian flag, you notice like we did not have this sponsored adverts there. We just had content, which was this first one. Um, but now, then I searched for buy Nigerian flag, and then I got sponsored adverts, and now I cleared up buy away from my keyword as well, and I just put Nigerian flag, and then I got sponsored adverts. So I'm going to explain that towards the end of this video. We'll come into that. That is all about search intent. But right now the focus is on why SEO. Why is SEO important? So take for example, SEO is important because it is free. That's just it. SEO is important because it's free, and who does not like free things? Why should you pay for something when you can get it for free? So basically, SEO is important because it is free, and aside from the fact that it is free as well, it kind of like gives you that brand authority. It gives you that brand authority because when you want to advertise your website as well, and then you have good rankings in terms of SEO, you would not have to like pay much money on like someone um, who have bad rankings in terms of who have in terms of SEO who have bad rankings. They would have to pay more money than you. That process is called bidding, but that is something else entirely that we are going to touch before the end of this program. However, SEO is important because it is free, and then it gives you that brand and that brand authority. So yeah, so um, as you can see on here, this when I type in Nigeria flag, these people right here, these people right here, they are spending money to show their websites on that page of SEO, and then this is all sponsored adverts, just as it says on there. But right under that is every other result that are not sponsored adverts. These other results are basically featured on here or in here based on SEO, and they are able to rank higher because of SEO, the good work they've done in terms of SEO optimization of their website. So that's it. That is the idea of SEO. That is why SEO is important. So, why should you pay to rank here, you know, when you can actually rank here for free? This is the reason why people actually do SEO. So let's go back into our slide, and let's look at the next thing, which is basically how does SEO works. Um, so really, how does SEO work? That's a good question that we need to ask ourselves. And if you come to think of it, like you you go on Google or any search engine, and then you just put in your keyword in there, and it pops out. Um, yeah, that is good for a user. You don't really care how it works, but for you who want to become a marketer, for you who wants to become a digital marketing executive, for you who wants to become an expert in SEO, you need to understand how SEO really works. And that is what we're going to look at here today. So SEO really works in by two major process. The first process is called crawling and indexing, and then the crawling works through something called spiders or web crawlers. So this is just a set of program or set of code that have been put in place um, to make search engine works. And indexing is like a library. So if you come to think of it like a library where books are stored, there are several books in the library. But how do you know there are several books in the library, but how do you store each book? How do you organize them? When you go to a library, each book is stored in different place. Maybe you go into a row, and then the whole books in that row is all about business, and then another row is all about law, and then you just know where to go. So this set of programs or this set of code have been done or built into search engines for this purpose. One is that one is the crawling process, and this crawling process is the process whereby something called search engine web crawlers or spiders go through several websites that are submitted to search engines, and sometimes that are not submitted. They crawl the website, they go through the content on every website on the internet, and then and basically they put content on there to determine um, if it is relevant for their users. So they crawl websites, take content from there, index it, or store it in the library in this case, which is the same thing as indexing. And then they store it in the library, and when the users search using search queries or keywords, um, this content pops up. So based on how relevant that content is from that website, that will determine how high they rank. So for now, all you just need to know is that search engine works through the process of crawling and indexing. Crawling is fetching data or scrolling through all the website content, and then indexing is storing the data, the content that have been um, fetched from the website. And the process of crawling walks through something called spiders, and some other people may call it web crawlers. I know spiders or web crawlers are just basically a set of program or computer code that have been designed to crawl websites and fetch data. Why indexing is a process of saving that data so users can come back to it, or search engine can use that data to determine how relevant the content of the website is for the user. So that is the first process of how search engine works. The second process of how search engine works is through search engine algorithm, or search engine algorithm that are built around something called SAP features. So these SAP features basically mean a search engine results page. And if I just let's go back into Google again, and I show you. So this right here, this sponsored position is a SAP feature. So basically, sub feature means search engine results page. So the UI, the user interface of of the search engine, no, that is basically sub features. I know the little things that makes up the search engine. That is what sub feature is. So this right here is a sub feature. This box here is a sub feature. This people also ask section here is a sub feature. So basically, those little bobs everywhere. Sometimes, there are some other ones down there. Okay, there we go. This is a sub feature as well. This is a sub feature. This is a sub feature. This is a sub feature. So, these sub features are dynamic. It is not the same for every search query or every keyword. So, it depends on what you search in there. That will determine what Google is going to show you, or what type of search feature Google is going to use to display the result for what you search. So, yeah, so a good way to think of sub features is like, they they are features of the website, and it is the way that search engine it is a dynamic way that search engine use to show you, the users, the results of your search query. And it works based on their algorithm. So that's just it. So search engine work two ways: one, indexing and crawling, and then two, search engine algorithm, which is built around the SAP features. And if we go into the second slide, let's go more in depth into what crawling and indexing is. So earlier on, I mentioned that crawling is the process of or it is a computer code. And these computer code are called spiders or web crawlers. I know it is the process of fetching data from websites. Basically, the web crawlers or spiders scroll through different websites, fetch content from there or fetch data from there, and then use that to determine if that website is relevant to show the user, based on the user query. And then indexing is just like a library of those fetched data, and it is like where those fetched data are stored for the user to go back to. So yeah, so that is it. And indexing works through through the URLs or seeds. In other words, some people may also call them seeds. And so these seeds or website URLs, website links that you already know, are used to store um, the data for each website. And that is just how indexing works. So crawling, indexing, and search engine algorithms, this is what search engine works. All of this is what search engine works with. So let's go into, like, let's break it down a bit. Let's break this whole concept of crawling and indexing. Let's break it down further, and algorithm as well. Let's break it down further. And then, I think one diagram that is going to help us is this diagram that is shown here. Right. So earlier on, I mentioned spiders, and you can see the diagram of spider in there. So, and then there is, so, first off, we have the spider, and then we have the crawling web pages, and then we have, the stored data in the indexed library. And then we have the process of, like, fetching the data and then sending the data. And then there's this whole ranking algorithm, that determines how relevant the data is before they show you the user. So, it is like two ways: input and output. So output, we can say it starts from the spider side, and then input, um, well, in this case, it can go both ways: input and output, both ways. So, from that spider side, a website owner may submit their website on something called Google Console, and then, the spider, which is the search engine code, would crawl the website. So that is the process that will be going that would happen at that stage of, like, crawling the web pages. and then it will fetch the data on the website, look at the content, and then it will store it in a library called index. And so, that is one process of input. And then another process of input can start from the user side. So, the user would enter a search query or keyword into search engine, and search engine would take that keyword, and then it would run it through its algorithm, and then look at its database, which is the indexed library, and then it would look at how relevant the data that how it is going to look for the relevant data in its database, and then it would send that back to its algorithm. The algorithm would do its thing to determine if that data is relevant, or which one is most relevant for the user, and then it will send the results back to the user. So search engine user, it works hand in hand, goes from the process of crawling, and down to indexing, and then down to algorithm, and then back to you, the user. So that is how it works. That is the basic idea of, like, searching and crawling. And earlier on I showed you an example of the Nigerian flag. When you put a result into a query, sorry, into the into search engine, and then I showed you how how different keywords can show different things, and how different keywords can show different things. So based on the user query, and then the algorithm will do its thing to determine if the particular result, or if the particular data is important. So I cannot show you that process now, because obviously I'm not Google and I don't have access to their backend in terms of like their code to show you how the whole code works. But a good way to think of it is like, you input something um into the search engine, and then search engine algorithm will do its thing, then fetch data that have been crawled, and then send you results back, based on how relevant that result is. So yeah, that is it. I don't think we need to input keywords. Obviously everyone has used a search engine before now, and you of course you've seen how it works. So let's dive into it. Let's dive into it further. Yeah, we were talking about algorithms. So this algorithm of a thing, what is really what is an algorithm? Like, what is an algorithm? So basically, an algorithm is a set of, like, computer process or rules, and then all it is a set of computer code. Actually, that is a better way to put it. And then this code will be doing calculations. The calculation that they are doing in this in the context of search engine is to determine how relevant the content that they've crawled in the past, how relevant it is for the user before they send the results to the user. So the algorithm is just a set. It's a set of code that have been put together. So search engine results page, or SAP, and what's a SAP, like, what's a SAP? Earlier on, I showed you briefly while showing you the result of the Nigerian flag, and I showed you examples of SAP. Basically, SAP means search engine results page again. It is the dynamic layout that search engine use to show you your results um, based on your query. So someone who searches for maybe Nigerian. Okay, let's do this. Let's go back into Google, and I'll show you search engine how dynamic search engine results page can be. So let's say earlier on we searched for Nigerian flag. This time around, let's search for maybe a video of someone holding Nigerian flag. Right. So yeah, if you notice this time around, something is different. Um, and what is different this this time around is like, we have results, of course, that are mostly SEO, no sponsored adverts in here yet. Uh, but if we change the query, I bet you we would get sponsored adverts. But let's focus on the dynamic thing that I'm trying to talk about here. So I've just set for a video of someone holding a Nigerian flag, and then I have this shutter stock link, and I assure you, if I click on there, majority of the things I'll see are videos. But that is the results. That is not what we're looking for. What we're actually looking for is like, the how this is dynamic. What makes it dynamic? And that is what we can see in here. Like, if you look at most of the results, you see they have like a video, in them. They have, videos attached to them. The results that the search engine page is pulling have have videos attached to them. So, maybe this is not a good keyword. Maybe let's try something else. Yeah, so let's try this. Let's try a video of Yoruba cultural dance. And then, yet again, we can see we are seeing lots of videos. We are not just seeing content, without videos. We are seeing a lot of videos because that is what we search for, and the majority of them are coming from Google, from YouTube. Sorry. And if we look at this as well, images, but again, it is linked to YouTube, more videos, videos and videos. Um, yeah, so this is what makes search engine results page unique. If I remove the word video from there, and then I just search for maybe Yoruba cultural dance, okay, we still have a video in ranking, maybe because of what I searched earlier. And then there's something called cookies, and there's something called cookies, and that's just determine your that looks at your previous results, and and use it to determine how relevant um, what you're looking for would be for you. Yeah. So going deeper into it, basically the search engine results page is dynamic in that sense. Based on what you search, it would show you results based on what you send, and it will determine what swap features to use. So if we go back into our slide, and then we just go back into the slide, we just go to the next slide. I've been able to explain what search engine results page are, and then why it can be dynamic based on your search query. Another example is what we see here, the image that we see right here, and then we can see that there are several types of sub features. A lot of times you might have seen um, this results that the people also ask results. You might have seen top stories. Some other time you may see feedback or ratings. There are a lot of search engine sub features. Anyways, but those little boxes that you see every now and then, or different style of layout around website, that is sub features. So they can be different types of sub features. Earlier on, I showed you sponsored adverts, and then this is called AdWords. Like you know basically the platform where Google Adverts is being managed is called AdWords, and then AdWords on the search engine results page, it's also a sub feature. So the sponsored advert that I showed you earlier at the top is an example of sub feature, and then they can be at the top or at the bottom sometimes. Some other time there's another type of sub feature called local teaser pack. There are site links, there are tweets, there are news boxes. News boxes, example of news boxes is the top stories that we see here. That's an example news box sub features. Some other time they are like related questions. Uh, and related questions is the same. It can also be the same as people also ask. Some other times they are like reviews, they are shopping results. There's like image pack. Like for example, when we showed the for example when the Nigerian flag in the Google thing that I showed you. But we've changed that query now to Yoruba cultural dance, and then this is an example of image pack. There's yeah. So this is a whole image. This is an example of image pack a sub feature. So let's go back into our slide and let's see, maybe we can get more examples of sub features, or we just move on. And then we've seen videos as well. We did not really get a good example of video sub features today, because most of the videos that we see, although they are linked to YouTube, but they are not directly from they are not directly linked on the search engine page, which is what I would like to show you. But I will get you a better example as we move on during this course. Right. Right. So um, I've shown you, yeah, I've shown you an example of Nigerian flag. But what I have on this PowerPoint, before I, sh- I touched on before we got here, I should have hold on, before I went, more in depth into what I showed you earlier. But however, what I have planned in here, I can actually show you, because I think this would actually be a good example to show you how dynamic SAP features can be. So I've already tested it out, and hopefully it is still going to be giving me the same results. So first off, let us search for Nigerian flag, and let's see what we have. And hopefully that's going to truly show dynamic dynamic sub features can be. So over here, we can see sub features, the sponsored ads, which is a typical example of sub feature, and then we have the Wikipedia uh, thing as well by this side. Some other times we can have like featured snippets, which would just be on top of here, on top of this. People also ask right here in this position, but that is not what we're seeing here right now, though. The people also ask sub features. You've seen that, so we don't need to go over that again. So let's just change this query to what we have in the slide, and hopefully that would help us to that would truly reflect how dynamic SAP features can be. So let me add meaning of Nigerian flag in there, and let me just show you what I'm typing so you can see what I'm doing in real time. So meaning of Nigerian flag. So yeah, this is good, and and this is because I have it planned already. I tested out the keywords, and yeah, so it works. So basically, what we see right here is that if you notice in the previous search query or keyword, we had like sponsored adverts right here, but this time around we don't have sponsored adverts there. It is different because we're searching for the meaning and not just Nigerian flag. And this is going to take us into a new concept called search intent. Search intent basically means the reason why you, the user, uh, is searching for whatever you are searching for. And the sub features or the search engine results page would look at your query to determine your search intent, and based on your query, that would determine what they show you and how they show you what they show you. So earlier on we searched for Nigerian flag, and then we got sponsored adverts because we may have the intention of buying a Nigerian flag, or we may have the intention of buying an image of Nigerian flag. But in this case now we don't, this keyword does not reflect that we actually have the intention of buying a Nigerian flag. This keyword is basically telling search engine or Google in this case that we want to understand the meaning of Nigerian flag, so we have no intention of buying, and so there's absolutely no need for Google to show us sponsored adverts for images or or uh, or or flags, or physical flags. Yeah, so there you go, there you have it. And to think of it, who really want to create sponsored adverts for the meaning of Nigerian flag? So you write a blog on the meaning of Nigerian flag, and then you want to create it. You want to create a sponsored advert for it in AdWords. Nobody really does that because it's not going to fetch you any money. Um, you know, so nobody is doing that. Nobody is creating sponsored adverts for this keyword meaning of Nigerian flag. I know. So there you go. That's how dynamic. That is how dynamic the search engine results page can be based on your search intent and your search query or your keywords. So that's how dynamic it can be. Let's go back into let's go back into our PowerPoint. And the image we have right here is just what I've just shown you in the browser. So we don't really have to go over that again. By now you should understand how dynamic the search engine results page can be. Already you know these things because you use search engine every other day. But you might have not really been thinking in that sense. But with what we've touched, or what we have talked about in this particular lecture or class so far, you actually should have a better understanding of why the results page can be different. And if anything at all, you know the terms now, and then actually know what the terms mean. So let's go into search intent. So earlier on, I was talking about search intent, and then I was talking about and then I showed an example of two keywords, meaning of the Nigerian flag and then Nigerian flag, and then I was talking about how how they are different based on the intention of the user. So that's basically what search intent is. The keywords that you put in there would determine the type of results that search engine would show you. Yeah, so let's use another example that I think would be interesting to show you. And then that is I have two keywords in here to show you again why search engine results is dynamic, or how it can be dynamic. So let's go back to Google. And then the first keyword here, sorry, just one more time. If I come back here to make sure I get the keyword right. So we have no requirement for nurses shoe, and then we have where to buy nurses shoes in Nigeria. All right, so let's go into Google, and then let's just search for requirements uh, for nurses shoes. So again, whilst I'm typing, it would be good to let you know that you know search engine results page is really dynamic, and then the results that you see can show based on different criteria. It can show based on the country that you are in, or uh, the country that you're in, and and every other thing like that. It can show based on the country that you are in, and several other criteria. So there's something called local optimization that we are going to talk about before the end of this program as well. Yeah, so let's look at this. Let's observe what we have here. Yeah, so right here it is showing sponsored. It is showing sponsored adverts again. But something that is interesting to see is that this featured snippet or SAP feature is that it's kind of like it is fetching data from this website that have been able to like list those requirements for nurses shoes, because nurses have a special type of shoe that they are allowed to wear at the hospital, and all that. So let's look at the other keyword. to determine what the difference what the difference is between these two keywords, although they are like they are somehow related. And then the other keyword is called where to buy nurses shoe in Nigeria. I'm sorry, I missed the Y there. In Nigeria, right? So you would notice that in this result, something is different now. Okay, fine. I said where to buy nurses shoes in Nigeria. All of a sudden, I have a different type of SAP feature. I have like a map. Like, why do I need a map? I have different links to several websites. I can click straight, and then it's showing reviews as well. And then this is the reviews type of SAP feature that I was talking about earlier. And then it is showing different stores, and it is showing their phone number. You can pick up their phone number, call them immediately, or visit their website. Right. So this particular SAP feature is coming from something called Google Business. Um, Let me make sure I get the name right here now. I think it's called a Google Business Page. So it is basically a different platform entirely, where you fill in your or you submit your business. So you have to like fill in your phone number, your opening hours, and all of that. And Google just take that data to show the users. So that is what is happening here. Yeah, so based on what I searched for this time around. This time around, obviously, I want to buy a nurse shoe. Earlier on, I searched for requirements for nurse's shoe. Maybe I'm still like maybe I'm still in the process of thinking, okay, what type of nurse's shoe do I want to buy, or when I eventually want to buy it, what are the things I need to look out to make sure that that particular shoe would have. But this time around, I've done my research. I know what the requirements are I actually want to buy. So this time around, I actually want to buy and I want to know where to buy it. So, Google is showing me a different type of result this time around to say, okay, these are the places that you can buy this nurse's shoes in Nigeria. And these are the reviews that these places have. As you can see here, this one have a 5 star. So maybe, although this looks nothing like a nurse's shoe anyway, but probably this shop would be selling lots of shoes and maybe nurses shoes as well. But however, this image here does not really you know do justice to nurses shoes. But that does not matter. What matters is that Google actually pops out these shops in Nigeria as maybe perhaps one of the best shops that sells all kind of shoes, and perhaps they sell nurses shoes as well. So that's this for that segment of the sub feature. And then if we go further down, we can see the traditional links, SEO links, and then on and on like that. So basically, what is interesting here to show you is this space and then this map to tell you to make you understand that the search engine results page is actually dynamic based on the search intent or the intention of the user of the page. So, right, this is just basically what what we've just done. It is a screenshot of what we've just done, but this is for the UK, so we don't really have to like look into that. But what is interesting for us to see here as well is like when I search for like requirements for nurse issues, we can see in there as well like the top ranking page is telling us what the requirement is, and it's not really like showing where to buy or where you can straight up go it's not really showing shops to buy. But the next search query is kind of like it is showing more of where you can actually buy it, because that one is just straight to the point, nurse's shoe, so you probably have the intention of buying. I know that it is similar to the example that I showed you earlier. So we don't have to like go touch that again. But anyway, throughout the course, throughout this to this lecture, we have actually talked about what what search engine optimization is, how search engine optimization works, and then basically search engine optimization works in two ways. One is through crawling and indexing. Crawling, is a process whereby search engine spiders or crawlers, which are basically a set of code, goes on websites, several websites, and then they search through the contents of that website to determine how relevant. They search through the contents of that website, and then they save the contents of the website in a library called index, and the process is called indexing. If that makes sense, index and indexing, noun and verb. Yeah. So crawling, fetching the data, indexing, saving the data in a library. So that is one. And then two is search engine algorithms that actually build around SAP features, which is the search engine results page. So yeah, we've talked about that, and then we went on to talk about um, how search engine algorithm works around SERP features. We talked about what SERP features are, and how dynamic SERP features can be based on search intent. And then we dived a little bit into what search intents are, and why dynamic results or different type of results can show based on the user's search intent. So those are the key takeaways for today's lecture. And before we just end the lecture, I would like to know that you are following us on Instagram. If you're not following us on Instagram already, you know, go on Instagram right now. Follow us at Girls Into Tech on Instagram. Girls Into Tech on Instagram, just as it is spelled. And then if you search Girls Into Tech on LinkedIn as well, you should be able to find us on LinkedIn. However, we're going to leave all these links in the description below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this, like the video, and then subscribe to the page as well. um and let's dive back into into the slide. So yeah, the task that I would love you to do, and then if you do it, is actually good for you, is what is displayed on the screen right now. Um, Basically, I would like you to go, away, and then search on Google. Like you're just using Google for the first time ever now. Search on Google, and then I would like you to put in any query in there, and so I'm basically, based on what you said, I would like you to just write something very simple, 50 words, to actually write something simple, 50 words to describe what the search intent or is for that query that you put in, and then the type of SERP features that you see on the page as well for that result. So yeah, if you can do that, that would be good. So again, the task for for today is for you to use any search term in Google, and then note the search intent, uh, what your intent is for using that search term, and then take note of the type of SAP features that comes up on the results page. And then all I want you to do is just write a 50 words um, document, and let us know the type of SAP features that you saw on your result, in your result, and then the term that you used as well. So you can take screenshots or however you want to do it, but just 50 words will do, explaining what search intent is, or what your search intent was, and then the result, the type of SERP features that you saw on the results page. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. I'm sorry, this is like my first time doing, like, videos like this one, so bear with me. Yeah, so but that's it anyway. That's it for today's lecture. And then for people who are into Bootstrap or who want to learn coding, I'm going to meet you in that other class. So next time that we meet again, we're going to be talking about keyword and keyword research, what keyword research is, and then we're going to dive down deeper into something called buyer's journey or customer journey, and that would help you to understand this whole process of like search intent, and what search intent is, and why different contents of web pages may be optimized based on the customer journey or based on the search intent. And then we're going to touch down on some basics and tools and strategies that you can use for website optimization or search engine optimization as well. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and then subscribe to this YouTube video as well. I'm sorry if you don't really yeah, I'm sorry if it's a little bit difficult understanding some of the things that I've said today, but as time goes by, all I can promise you is that we're going to improve, and then we are going to make these lectures uh, more easy for you to understand. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye.